Howdy everyone, welcome to another episode of Star Wars Lore with me. Tonight in this episode I'm going to be talking a little bit about the planet Devaron. The homeworld of the much maligned and mistrusted Devaronians, Devaron itself was a pleasant world with a mild climate and benign landscape. The world of Devaron was run almost entirely by the females of the Devaronian species, also known as devilish. The females were less well known than the males because they rarely left their planet and were physically and mentally different from their mates. Male Devaronians resembled the devils from the fairy tales of many cultures, as you can tell by looking at some of the pictures I got in here, with red skin, pointed ears, bald heads, and completed by two curving horns sprouting from their upper forehead. Female Devaronians were taller than the males, had no horns, and were covered in reddish fur. The sexes also differed in temperament, with the males famously unreliable, often treacherous, and always given to wanderlust, while females were steadfast, consistent, and straightforward. However, as it was the males that the rest of the galaxy became familiar with, the species was tarred with the same brush, and Devaronian, as a general term, became a byword for treachery. As male Devaronians were so unreliable, life on their planet went on without much need for their input. Females ran the government, directed industry, and took care of young and other dependents. Couples did marry, but it was expected, and indeed preferred, that the male would head off on some expedition around the planet or the wider galaxy and leave the business of child rearing to the female. The planet, under the reliable care of the females, produced a range of products that were mostly for internal use and consumption. Some of the industries on Devaron were extremely advanced, and many merchants grew interested in opening up the world to galactic trade. However, by producing enough goods to satisfy their own needs, the Devaronians succeeded in remaining largely independent of both the Republic and the Empire. Devaron was represented in the Senate during the days of the Republic, to which it remained loyal during the Clone Wars, despite efforts by the Separatists to establish a presence there. As Senator, I hope I pronounced this right, Vian Say Malak paid for the assassination of her co-senator Elasemara and worked with the Separatists to build a small base on Devaron. She was caught and paid the ultimate price for her treachery against her own people. There were occasions when male Devaronians managed to obtain positions of power on their homeworld, but these usually ended in disaster. One particularly dark example was the case of Kaido Se Malak, who rose through the ranks to become a captain in the Devaronian army. His story became the ultimate reminder of the dreadful consequence of allowing male Devaronian influence. When some of the male Devaronians opted to join the rebellion against the Empire, Imperial forces were swiftly sent to quell the uprising. The occupying Imperial officers took command of the Devaronian army and ordered the troops to turn on their fellow Devaronians. Scandalously, a great number duly complied, and none with more vigour than Kaido Se Malak himself. He ordered the bombardment and total destruction of the ancient Devaronian city of Montelian Serat, and the subsequent slaughter of about 700 rebel prisoners. Now forced to flee from Devaron for this terrible act of treachery, Kaido managed to change his name to Labria, and he spent some time on Tatooine earning his keep as an information broker with little success due to his excessive drinking. He eventually settled on the planet Pepple, where he hoped to while away the rest of his days. However, sometime after the Battle of Endor, a huge bounty was placed on Labria's head. He was captured by Boba Fett and returned to Devaron to face justice. Labria was sentenced to be thrown into a pit of vicious, hungry Quora whose sharp teeth ripped him to pieces, and the ruins of Montelian Serat remained a place of grim remembrance for Devaronians and a warning of what happened when males were given power. And there you have it, that is a bit of Star Wars history lore behind the planet Devaron. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like and subscribe, as it helps the channel out a lot. And don't forget to leave a comment or two about the video if you liked it, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.